It was a Champions League disaster for Manchester United as they lost 2-1 to Sevilla at home at Old Trafford in a game that most people, certainly neutrals, would have expected Man United to win or at least advance through to the next round of the Champions League. Since that defeat, on Twitter, online and in the press with the pundits, they've all been talking about the way that Man United play and how Jose Mourinho played in this game in particular and how it could show how limited maybe Jose Mourinho is in terms of top teams and getting them to where they want to be. And Man United, of course, is one of those things. Sam Peoples from United Peoples TV joins me now. Hello, mate. Have you calmed down?
Well, no. I suppose that was a pretty embarrassing defeat from Manchester United against Sevilla in a very, very, very winnable round of 16 tie. I mean, United fans are pretty baffled as to what we saw, especially 72 hours after Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge point here. Jose Mourinho got lots of plaudits after the Liverpool game. People talking about it was a tactical masterclass, a tactical moment where it showed that you cannot discount Jose Mourinho in any game of football. He knows how to win games. He knows how to find a way. And you saw that against Liverpool. But in this game, would it be fair in me saying that you saw the other side of the coin with Jose Mourinho and the fact that maybe when he has to go and win a game, he's looking a little bit limited now because the approach was so negative, wasn't it?
The thing that United fans can't get and I can't get my head around is that we had the blueprint to beat Sevilla. We showed that against Liverpool 3 days earlier. Why Jose then decided to start Fellaini in central midfield, drop Pogba, not drop Pogba, but leave him on the bench. Leave McTominay on the bench, who was arguably United's man of the match alongside Rashford against Liverpool. And that gave Sevilla so much room. In front of the back four, they had easy, comfortable possession. They didn't really threaten our goal because their shots were poor, but they just looked comfortable the whole game, really. And Lukaku's consolation goal right at the end, over 180 minutes of football against Sevilla, that 90 minutes away, 0-0 in Seville, it wasn't the worst result in the world because Mourinho's always adopted this policy of draw away, win at home. That's how you're going to get through. But United was so pragmatic against Seville right from the start at Old Trafford. It was turgid.
4 shots on target in the 2 games as well, which I think also tells the story. And this isn't against Real Madrid. This isn't against Liverpool at the weekend, who are an attacking side that goes for it. It was against a Sevilla side that hasn't won a Champions League tie against a Premier League team before. And I think what you've seen from Rio Ferdinand's come out and said it, Paul Scholes come out and said it, a big thing is, as much as it's the results as a football fan that you're looking for, the attitude of the team is another huge point. And that's always a reflection of what your manager, 1, is like, or 2, is able to kind of instill in that team. And both Scholes and Rio Ferdinand were talking about how negative the approach was, but how lethargic the attitude was. Is that something that worries you when you've got a side who are solid and structured, but when you've got to go out and win games against the best teams in Europe, not against teams like Sevilla, you're not even giving it a go with any gusto?
I mean, I don't think any United fan will say to you that we expected to win the Champions League this year. Getting to the quarterfinals would have been progress, would have been in the right direction. For a United fan to say that might sound slightly strange, but we have to accept the situation that we're in. We haven't won the Champions League since 2007-8, and we're not at that elite European level yet. That's happened because of Van Gaal, because of David Moyes, because Fergie retired. We're still recovering from that downfall. So to get to the quarterfinals would have been an achievement, but I just don't understand.
But do those expectations need to change though, Sam, don't they? When you bring the players that you have, people like Sanchez, who is a shadow of the player that he was at his best at Arsenal. Last year, I think he hasn't been able to switch it into gear, and you'll expect him to get better because he does play with risk. And so when that's happening and there is such pressure on him as a player, when he doesn't have a good game, it's going to be a bit more glaring. But Lukaku, Sanchez, Martial on the bench. This squad is a really good squad that's cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're not even giving it a go.
it's completely down to Jose Mourinho and his instructions to the players. That's why United played differently against Sevilla. It wasn't because the attitudes of the players changed. As I said, 72 hours earlier, Old Trafford was bouncing, one of the best atmospheres in Old Trafford in years because of how exciting United were. It's all come from Jose Mourinho.
What is the deadline for Jose Mourinho to go, right, I've been building a squad here. I haven't had the players that I've wanted to play attractive football that Man United fans have grown up on. And despite the fact that, Fergie goes, you're going to have to change and you're going to have to start again. But the bottom line is that Man United are known for a certain brand of football. Mourinho hasn't totally offered that yet. You thought you saw it at the start of the season with some great results, but it's gone away a little bit. And in these big games, those big midweek Champions League games, those performances that you've seen in the past, even the approach to it's not been the same. So what is the deadline for Jose Mourinho from Man United fans to him? What's the deadline for him to go, look, you need to be playing this kind of way? Or will that day ever come?
I don't think that day will ever come, and I think any
and how does that make you feel?
That's accepting of the situation. Liverpool right now are not playing Liverpool football. They're playing Jurgen Klopp football. When Van Gaal was manager of Man United, we weren't playing the Man United way. We were playing the Van Gaal way. Now that Mourinho's manager, we're playing the Mourinho way. Any football club, it doesn't matter how deeply entrenched your identity is, you will always play how your manager wants you to play football. And maybe that's harder for United to accept because of how much success we had with this Fergie style, which we did for a number of years. But Mourinho is not going to change. Everybody knew that when he came in. And I think it's slightly unfair to say that United are always playing turgid, poor football, because we've scored more goals this year than I think we did in the whole of last year. We've got more points this year already than we did in last year. And something that's really hurt United, not that I'm looking for excuses, but I suppose this might be one. Man United's spine, if you're looking at the best starting 11 that United have, De Gea, Bailly, Pogba and Lukaku would be 4 players that are in that starting 11. They've only started 4 Premier League games together this season.
That's a fair point.
No team can really build a sustainable identity when you keep chopping and changing. And that's really hard. Man City have coped with it well, but City are an anomaly this season. This Guardiola identity is very easy to see for them. And I think what's happening at City is making anything that Mourinho's doing wrong at United, it's exacerbating the problems because you can see across the City, oh, look, Guardiola's doing it. Why can't you, Jose? It's making it harder. But I think you look at the start of the season, we scored 4 against CSKA, 4 against Burton, 4 against Everton, 4 against Crystal Palace, 4 against Swansea. We were pumping teams. It's just that in the second half of the season, we have fallen off. And we're still second, though. So we're still above Liverpool and Spurs. This is the argument. It's the results versus the style. I mean, the
results hasn't come last night. And a huge factor of that was the approach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was completely down to the approach. And I literally can't comprehend why Jose Mourinho did that to himself. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. And any problems we had last night were self-inflicted by Jose Mourinho and his choices.
And this season, as everyone likes to say, if you're not a Man City fan, is an anomaly. They are, they're close to winning the title. They could do it against you guys. Looking at the season as a whole, which is, in a few months' time, the black and white of it won't change. That you've gone out to Sevilla at this stage, but you're still in the FA Cup and you could finish second in the league. If you don't win the FA Cup, have you taken a backward step as a football club this season? How will you look back at this season?
I don't think winning the FA Cup changes the fact that this season will go down as a failure. Because Man United won the Europa League last...
Second?
No, finishing second, you're the first loser. It's irrelevant. Man United, last year, we won the Europa League and the League Cup. Every single season that Mourinho has had, whether it be at Chelsea, whether it be Real Madrid, Porto, Inter, he's won the league in his second season. This will be the first time he hasn't won the league in his second year. Yes, it came at a time when City are just doing something phenomenal that probably won't be repeated in the Premier League. But that's no excuse. I suppose it is an excuse. This City team is just so phenomenal that the progress that United have made, and as I said, we've got more points. We've got more wins already in the Premier League this year than we had in the whole of last year. We've scored more goals. We are progressing. It's just that we're not doing it fast enough to catch up with City. So I think this season will go down as a failure because of that. But next year, I suppose, if he doesn't win the Premier League next year or the Champions League, then Mourinho's failed in his first 3 years as a United manager, I suppose.
Okay. Sam, thank you, mate. Any Man United fans, head over to United People's TV and subscribe to that channel. It's a great channel, as you've just heard from the lovely opinions that Sam has offered us in this. If you are new to Ball Street, then hit subscribe. Hit that like button as well and let me know your thoughts. Is Sam right in accepting the style and approach of Jose Mourinho, a manager who's done great things, but can he do great things with Man United? Let me know in the comments below. We'll see you soon.